Hello and welcome back, or welcome if you're new. We're just going to dive right into the video today. I'm working in my A5 Traveler's Notebook, and I've added in what I hope will become my reading journal. So I'm just going to take it out and then work with it that way because it's a little bit easier right outside of it. My reading journal is just, in fact, a scrapbook piece of paper that I cut out and rounded the corners, and then it is just some loose leaf paper. I actually just printed like the dot grid on it from a free printable, and I cut that down to size as well. And as you saw, I didn't even like staple it in or do anything. It's just held together with a rubber band. I printed off some pictures. We have a small Canon selfie, and it prints pictures off from your phone. And I believe it could do your printer or your computer as well. I just use it to print off the pictures from my phone. So I created this little collage off of Canva with I just have a free membership, or yeah, I think that's the word I'm looking for. Anyways, I printed off this little picture, and I printed off a few other ones because if you have seen my other video where I talk about my October to be reads, I am going to do 3 readathons this month. Don't hold your scissors like me in that position. I don't know. So I wanted to get a reading journal put together, and I had a couple pictures from the readathons that I'm putting in also. This one is a collage, and it's sort of a heart shape. It printed off just slightly off, but that's okay. You'll see that not much is really, I'm not aiming for perfection here. I have found with my planners, especially when I try to get it perfect, I'm just stopped by it. And so there's no progress to be found because it's never going to be perfect. So I just want to get some progress done. With this reading journal, I'm giving myself a lot of grace because I'm not quite sure what all I want to include in my reading journal. So I have a feeling that as I continue with these, that they'll kind of just morph and grow into what I would like to have. To attach the picture in my journal, I'm just going to use just a regular old Elmer's glue stick. I'm not going to use anything fancy because, like I said, this is just kind of a trial and run for me. And that's the glue that I had on hand, quite honestly. So I'm going to put that in the front because this is going to be for the month of October. And so I'm going to put it in and then write out the month and the year. Next, I'm going to start cutting up the other pictures that I printed out. But as you'll see, my read-alongs printed out so teeny tiny. So I'm going to go and print them out on a larger scale. Here's the old one compared to the new one. So I printed these out a little bit bigger just so that I could read them and they weren't like the size of a postage stamp. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing and glue in the first one. The first one is the Fraidy Cat Readathon, and I'm going to glue it in, but I'm also going to use some washi tape, you'll see. That washi tape is just it has some little jack-o'-lanterns on it, and since I am following the pumpkin patch trail for this readathon, I thought that that would be appropriate. On this page, I just kind of want to write out what the readathon is, the dates that it is going to take place, and who it is hosted by. I just want to keep track of a couple of these things and kind of make it fun for me. And then I've colored in with that mild liner highlighter a little bit, and I'm going to mark on top of it which trail I am taking because this particular readathon had a couple of different paths you could take, or you could take them all if you chose. Next, I'm going to go ahead and write in what the books that I picked for each prompt are. And then on the next page, I'm going to do a page for each book. I have some stickers here that I've printed off from Planner Deli. If I can find them, I will link them down below in the description box. But I've just printed it off on like the large label sheets, and then I'm cutting them out so that I can put them in. They're really cute. They're just little stacks of books in different colors. I'm not sure if the camera is picking that up properly, but I'm going to put one on each page and then write the prompt and the book that I read for the prompt. And then my thinking is that on that page, I can go ahead and write out any quotes or thoughts or summaries, things like that that I had about the book. And I also want to write the date that I started the book and when I finished, the author, as well as how many pages the book was. For this particular prompt, the happily ever after, I actually had snapped a picture of my youngest son and I. I was sitting down to read, and he was working on a learning app next to me. And I just had this little sweet picture of both of us snuggled under the blanket next to one another. So I wanted to put that in there. And then I also had some stickers that I had that were Alice in Wonderland themed. So the book that I'm reading for that prompt, or I read for that prompt, was Unbirthday by Liz Braswell, and it's a retelling of Alice in Wonderland. And so I had a couple of stickers that I wanted to go ahead and decorate the page with. I had to stop and come back to this another day. So here it is, just another day, and I'm going to pick up on the next readathon. This one is the Hey Reader Autumn Readathon. And so I'm writing down the dates again, and you'll see me flip back and forth because, like I said, it's been a couple days in between finishing it. And so I wanted to make sure that I was kind of following the same format as I did before, where I was listing who it was hosted by, the dates, and then the prompts and the books that I've picked out for those prompts. And then I'm going to kind of do the same thing and put in the next book. Each book gets a page, except you'll see one of my prompts is for a classic, Anne of Green Gables, and that's what that little sticky note was on there for. I've already started writing quotes down for that book because I'm not even halfway through and I'm just so falling in love with this book. It is the sweetest story so far. I've not finished it as of the recording, so I don't know how it ends yet, but I wanted to save myself an extra page for that book. Here I'm taping, or not taping, I'm gluing in the final picture for the last readathon that I'm doing. And I'm kind of just looking through some planner stickers that I have. This readathon is called Sweater Weather Readathon. And I know that I have some sweater stickers somewhere, and here I find them. But I'm kind of looking around because you'll see they're Christmassy, and I still want it to be fall type reading. So I go ahead and just use this kind of pumpkin spice cup instead because it still reads cozy to me. So I'm going to put in all the information for that one. And then I'm going to go to the front of the journal again. And this is on the back side of the title page that has that heart collage. And I'm going to put in a calendar for the month of October because there are 3 readathons and some of the dates are overlapping. And because I'm using some of the same books for multiple readathons, if you watch the readathon video, I promise this makes sense. But I want to keep track of it and kind of figure out where the readathon dates are visually and what books I'm planning to read on which days because of the overlap. So I'm just going to put one color for each readathon and then down at the bottom, make a key for myself. And then later I'm going to go in and write in the books that I have already read in pen and the books I plan on reading in pencil because, just in case I need to erase it and it doesn't happen, or if it happens sooner, then I want to get that in there too. I'm going to flip all the way to the back of the book and just kind of create a space for reading recommendations. So, books that I either see on YouTube and are recommended, or people in real life are recommending to me, and I want to kind of pick up or add to my to be read list. So, I want to make some space. I'm doing it on the back so I can kind of work backwards because I have no idea how many pages this is going to take up. And then I will show you just a quick flip through after I put this back inside my traveler's notebook of the finished product or what's finished so far. Thanks so much for joining me. I really appreciate you coming alongside and watching as I created the journal. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you did, would you please give it a thumbs up? And if you haven't subscribed already, maybe consider subscribing to our channel and joining our little YouTube family.